Well, Mark, this is kind of a weird thing for me, because if you'd have said to me at the age of 16, 17, one day, you'd be having a chat with your friend Mark Robinson rather than your hero Mark Robinson. So I just felt like I wanted to do a quick interview with you, because when I was a kid, obviously I idolised you different times, but how did you think it was tonight? What's it like coming back in a BBL gym?
I would say the same thing. If you would have said to me as a Manchester Giant player that I would have a kid playing for the Manchester Giants, well, if you would have said at that time I would have a kid, that'd be a whole nother story. But I think, I've watched the league, closely for, I'd say the last 6-7 years. Obviously without COVID being involved, but I think this year, basketball coming back, I think with the fans, every venue seems to have a lot of fan support, which I think is great. And I think that it's good overall in each and every city, whether it's Plymouth, whether it's up in Scotland, it doesn't matter. I think that basketball has continued to remain steady. And they always say it's the fastest growing sport, but I think it's the most steady sport for the last two, 3 decades.
Definitely. I mean, we were there when it sort of reached its peak in the 90s, and it was over at the arena. We drove past it yesterday. We were reminiscing at how different Manchester is now. Every time you come over here, you must think you're in a different town from how it was back then.
I mean, Manchester, it continues to, as I say, it continues to grow up. Every time you think, okay, you've seen it all, they've done it all, and they just come back and there's like 3-4 more buildings being built. And I think somewhere my middle son told me that Manchester is like the third best city in the world. And he read it somewhere in school. And I think that it's great for every sport, whether it be City, United, or the Giants. I think it's great.
And it's like you said, is it hard to believe for you that you now have a son playing for the team that you played for? For me, I love that kind of stuff. I love the connection with the past, because there's a lot of new fans in the game now, which is great. But for the ones that were there the first time, I kind of love that legacy thing where you've now got the son of a BBL great playing for the team that you played for. Does it mean a lot to you that Nate's playing for the Giants in his rookie year?
Yeah, it means a lot. And a lot of people, that know that I'm Nate's dad, that say, his dad was a great player for the Giants. But what they kind of miss, that when I came to the Giants, I was 26, 27. I had already been a pro, and I already had played in a number of different countries. Where he's here and he's starting out as a pro, so he'll probably have a lot longer to develop, coming here than I did, and I think it's great. I think when I look around, like you got Clive Allen's daughter working here, and yesterday I went to the Mystic Hatters game and I got to see Gardner Gale's daughter. And after I said, FaceTime your dad, and she's looking at me like, So I think it's great. Every time I come back.
And then of course Trez is here as well.
Trez is here. Then you got Fab here. I think it's British basketball. I think a lot of people don't realize how many individuals that it's touched worldwide. And I'm sure there are people that play in France and Spain and all these other different places, but when you're talking about playing in England, it's more for everybody. Like Fab is here, like I'm here. It's more home than anything else. Every summer we come back and we try to keep involved with basketball as much as possible. So I'm just hoping that Manchester, in terms of how the organization is going to move down the road, is going to be like shocking. It's going to surprise everyone, and then become in a stable environment. We're one of the major players in all of Europe. Right now we want to obviously get our feet wet. Vince and company, they're doing a good job trying to get things going, but I think it could really be something special. To the point, like you said, back in the day where we played in Europe. When I played with the Giants, we played in Europe. And it's obviously different now. There's a lot more funding that goes with playing in Europe. So I'm hoping that over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, that the Giants will just explode.
Well, hopefully so. Well, Mark, it brings me so much pleasure seeing my heroes from back in the day here as fans now. And it's always great to see you, man. And the fact that Nathan's here means a lot to me as a fan as well.
Good
thank you for all your service to Manchester basketball and British basketball in general.
Go Giants.